to the Inappropriate Guys.
My God.
Did
you just give yourself a hernia? Oh, my God. I know the season's almost over, Joe, but you don't have to...
Well...
Wow, you're going to pull a hamstring. I don't want you to miss...
get it out.
You know, if you injure yourself at this point of the year, you miss the rest of the games. I hate to tell you, Joe.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, my God.
That felt good.
Wow, that's the most... I mean, you're getting a little skinny now. You've been exercising?
Oh,
that
God.
was quite the lung power.
So, the reason why it's so powerful is because we're winding down the end of the year. And in...
The podcast year. Which
is
not
the literal year too. It's the end of everything. It's all coming to an end. It's inevitable, as you would put it.
Oh yeah, that is one of my themes.
That's your theme of it.
When historians and social scientists go over when they study out podcasts in the future, they'll be like, you know how they like study Shakespeare. You know how they
yes, there
and
you
like
go.
why the cage bird sings and all those great works like Grapes of Wrath.
Wow.
Yeah, when future generations study our podcast, one of the themes of inevitability was one of my recurring themes.
You think there'll be scholars with large chalkboards behind them?
Yeah.
Just writing down things about
people debating us.
The history of podcasting. There will be in some college somewhere like a class on the history of podcasting. Because it'll be like John the Baby Maker like studied bowling for fucking 4 credits in college.
You have to listen to like Joe Rogan and
yeah, exactly, and the Inappropriate Guys.
I read the top, and I'm sorry, just real quick before you get into whatever you're getting into, but the list of top podcasts of the year.
Oh,
and
God,
and only
so sad.
one of them, from what I could tell, was actually any type of freeform talk. They were all like multi-part, like basically like documentaries, like
they're shows.
What they're
not even like
they're fully scripted.
Yeah.
It was like basically Making a Murderer, but if you instead of having still pictures or like Ken Burns, like like when they have those movies where like they have reenactments or they have like still videos and they talk over them. Like that's now what these top podcasts are, but without any visual.
It's not
just
a podcast.
I don't think so either. It's a documentary.
That's a
lecture almost.
Yeah, that's like a Oh, what's the thing you listen to when you go into when you go into the Met or something and you put on little headphones?
Oh, yeah.
That's what that is.
Like an audio guide?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a fucking audio guide. Like that's not a podcast.
A true podcast is something like which is more like a radio show.
Yeah.
And you have just people riffing on topics and news and telling stories. So anyway, Joey, sorry.
Speaking of which,
yes,
we have an announcement to make. And it's not the announcement you think. No, not that one either. God damn it. So.
Are we raising money for National AIDS Day?
Yeah. So we have been the Inappropriate Guys for 14 years and 2 seasons.
Really our entire lives. 14 years, 2 seasons. But really, separately we were Inappropriate Guys. Together we've been Inappropriate our entire lives.
Yeah.
Together, we've been the Appropriate Guys for 14 years.
Yeah, in 2 seasons. So I love that. I love that. That's my favorite thing about saying any of this. And through vigorous research over the course of the past couple of months, I have discovered one of the big reasons why we are not maybe growing
as quickly as we think we deserve to.
Yeah, which we deserve to be. And one of them was simply our title. And to be fair,
I would have thought it was the pedophilia.
That was season 1.
The racism?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's
the fat shaming.
All right. So we're going to stay the Inappropriate Guys. No. So to be fair, I voiced this opinion 14 years ago when we picked Inappropriate because I had trouble spelling Inappropriate. and I immediately was like, this is going to be hard for Google. And we were like, but it's us. And we were both agreed it's us.
Well, high school dropouts wasn't our target market,
Yeah.
I mean, like John couldn't spell it. I'm like, well, that's not really a good...
he's our target audience. He's just not, the best of linguist or spelling or anything. But yeah, so we... in our show poster, the new season 2 show poster, we have Please Be Offended in it. So we're just kind of doing a little bit of a swap. and we're going to come out. Oh God,
we're coming out.
We're coming out
Finally.
And we're rebranding the name of the show. So the show is no longer going to be The Inappropriate Guys with Joe and Tim. It's going to be Offended with Joe and Tim. And as much as we love the Inappropriate Guys like universe that we've created,
as much as we're still going to call each other the Inappropriate Guys on our podcast.
Yeah.
Even though we're Be Offended.
Yeah.
And as many times as Joe is going to have to re-record the introductions and go, hello, and welcome to the Be Offended with the Inappropriate.
Yeah. It's going to be a little difficult to transition.
Joe's going to be very hoarse in his introduction because it's going to be like the 17th take.
Yeah. Well, that's why I did it so hard today, is because I knew I had to
You're getting it all out?
I'm getting the last bits out, it's still in there in the back of my throat. So with that's our official announcement, is that we're rebranding the same old shit, the same shitty guests, the same stupid humor, the same idiotic everything. It's just you're going to have an auto switch to Be Offended, and the Be Offended is now the show title versus who we are. I think we're separated. We're still, I guess, the Inappropriate Guys unofficially, but Joe
will always
and Tim,
be the Inappropriate Guys.
Yeah, but it's going to be rebranded. The good news is it's going to be rebranded, and you're not going to have to do anything to change how to find us.
Oh, good.
So the people who have already found us.
So the people who already know how to spell Inappropriate
are okay.
will be rewarded for their spelling with more podcast episodes of us.
Yeah. So
okay, and then for people who are morons and don't know how to spell Inappropriate, they can just spell Be Offended.
Accidentally find us when they're looking up some tweet from somebody.
Be Offended.
Yeah. The
hashtag works, and I think that's
really works.
The reason, because if you do hashtag Be Offended, I think people
that'll explode.
Hashtag Offended. I think that's something that people will find.
Yeah.
So that is a good.
So with that, we have a new website which we will be able to post our images on alongside the Twitter. It'll probably actually have our Twitter built into it as well, so that way people can see the Twitter feed.
Our images, what? Pictures of us? What?
No, not our pictures. God, no. Our
dick pictures. Okay. Okay.
We both hit it right there. No, not our dick pics.
Will we label the dick pics, or we let the listeners guess who's whose? Okay, that's what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
So we can't put the Joe one first.
Yeah.
We have to or we can do a random. You can randomize it, and we're like,
it's only two penises. You have a 50-50 chance. It's not like there's much of a gamble. We could get someone else's penis in there randomly.
Okay.
And then we'll shuffle up the penis.
A black one.
The peni. A black one, great.
Another black one.
Know. Another.
We actually never
dick.
told the listeners that we were black.
Wait, does that mean I can do all the jokes? Oh no, okay. And we're off the air.
I have a story.
Oh God!
Yeah.
No.
Oh no, we're going out as the Inappropriate Guys. We are going out as the Inappropriate Guys. Oh yeah.
We're going out in a flame of glory.
If we're canceling ourselves, we are being canceled.
Oh my God!
Yeah. I have a story in front of me. It says, "Where are all the trans-friendly gynecologists?"
Oh God! You're just gonna hear a test tone and elevator music.
Somebody on the Huffington Post wants to know, where are all the trans-friendly gynecologists?
I know where they are.
So these trans women are going to gynecologists. And the gynecologists don't know how to treat them.
I know exactly how to treat them. Like men. I don't.
Isn't that amazing, though?
I can't even.
I mean, and we are canceling ourselves, so this is actually okay to talk about.
We're not canceling us. We're just rebranding.
I am 100% in favor of not making people feel bad about themselves or feel worse about themselves. Inclusion, to the extent,
I don't include anybody.
To the extent you can. And I remember, here's a good example, Joe, and you might have been around these years. Remember?
Oh boy.
There was this weirdo. It was late high school.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. You don't have to mention.
And he came to John's house a bunch of times.
Yeah.
So we were trying to be. So there was this weird kid. Let's call him Bob.
Bob.
Okay,
right?
Of
all names.
So we'll call him Bob. And Bob was weird forever. I actually don't know even what happened to him. But
you always know the weirdos.
But you knew. So for middle school, he was always weird. And then we got to high school, and somehow, I don't know if he was in class with Harrison or somebody, but somehow he found out we were hanging out at John's house at 8:30 on a Friday night.
Well, we were very popular.
And he came. We were not popular, but still, we had friends, and they came, and he came, and whatever. Like, you didn't want to be mean, so we let him hang out, and like he tried to get included, but he couldn't be included. And then, like, I think he kept showing up for a while.
I vaguely remember this.
And at one point, like, and this is really mean, but like, we actually like slowly individually left. So like we were hanging out, and then we all left one by one until he was the only person there. And then he like eventually just took himself home because I think we went into we either went to John's parents' house or we like all hung out in my car. Like we did something where we didn't announce that we were leaving. Yeah. And then like because like he couldn't get the social hints that like we didn't want to be friends with him. So anyway,
we bullied someone in the least bullying way,
and it started by actually being nice, being like, let's just include this person, but he was so weird that we couldn't. It was like ruining everyone's night. This. Like it wasn't like let's be mean to him, let's think how cool we are. It's like it was just, I feel really bad for him and under any circumstances. So like I can't look him in the face when we tell him we don't want to be his friend, so like let's just like do it passive aggressively. So like I am not in favor anymore. Or maybe ever. Like I have a very good sense of empathy. So when you're saying like there are trans people out here,
very good empathy.
There's people. That's why we have we're a good match.
Exactly.
You know, you're
I'm not very empathetic to many people.
One of us the head, the other's the heart. You know,
and mine's the head of the other side.
You know, when you're having an article saying literally that there's a transgender woman who can't find
transgender man.
No, transgender. A transgender man would be a woman who now identifies as a man.
Wait, is that how it goes?
So a trans woman is someone who is born with a penis.
A man who's born
with a penis. Yeah. I don't want to assign sex. I don't want to assume sex or gender. But they're literally going to, and you have a quote. So Caitlin Burns, a trans woman, freelance writer, and Vox contributor to Huffington Post.
Oh God!
Engaging.
Oh no! We've already banned Huffington Post. We've banned Huffington Post. This is not allowed. These fuckers have fucked up our show for years. Every Huffington Post thing we've ever done. If you go back and listen, which you must do now, Huffington Post has fucked us every time.
They're calling it like someone went to med school, right? And they learned gynecology.
Yeah.
And they know everything about gynecology. And then you have someone coming in who doesn't have the same parts that they've studied in med school. And the article is basically saying, why are these gynecologists who went to school to be gynecologists not able to treat my non-gynecological parts?
It's not a real fucking vagina. That's why.
And that's why we're canceling ourselves. We now say that. But this is an article, and this was published, and they have people interviewing, and people like what's happening, Joe? Like what's happening?
What's happening?
What's happening? Like
people
why?
Are fucking crazy. That's what's happening.
What's happening?
People are believing shit that they make up.
Like did they just not did they just keep letting Bob hang out with them? Like, is that what happened? Like, so we were like, okay, Bob, like, listen, bro.
But yes,
like,
that's true.
Like, they just never said no to Bob. And now Bob is like Bob is in their wedding party. Now Bob is moving in and living in their attic.
It's like that horror movie cliche where you always see all the photos and then they recap the whole movie and they show that person was in the background of that photo and then the background of this photo. And before you know it, they're like in every photo and you realize Bob was always there.
Yeah. So like that's like at what like they couldn't say no. So like now you have to the article saying like, why aren't gynecologists able to treat trans men? And the answer obviously is because they went to school to learn how to deal with cervixes and ovaries and uteruses. And those are things parts that trans men don't have. So how would they know how to treat parts that they have not studied and they have not dedicated their lives to? Now, but that would be, which is why we're canceling ourselves, because that is something that you cannot say out loud.
I can say out loud.
Like, because you couldn't say, like, at what point, like, do you just say no?
But here's the thing.
When do you say no? When did we say no?
Why?
At what point do we say no?
Why are we not allowed to say no? Who is writing these rules? Bob? Fuck Bob. He's wrong.
Because
someone needs to learn that there is a right and wrong.
Because nobody wants to everyone wants to include Bob, but nobody wants to invite Bob over. And that's what these things are. Is that somebody so
depending on what side of the line you're on, you might want Bob over.
But like the person who's writing this article, like
there is a lot of Pornhub trans things.
Like the person who's writing this article and the person who's like, getting like, they're not going to go to med school to become a gynecologist for trans females. Because that's a very small market. It's a very small market. I don't know how they'd even teach you it. I don't even know what the textbook would say, honestly. So like it's the reverse. So like someone wants to be offended. Someone wants to be offended.
Ooh.
Someone wants to be offended. Someone wants to shame. Someone wants to say shame on you, gynecologist, for not treating trans females.
Yeah,
and then go about their day.
I
just like Bob.
I think what it comes down to is
like someone's going to write us an angry hate mail and say that was so mean we did to Bob. But I guarantee you they did not want to. Bob was a fucking weirdo. Yeah. I guarantee you they did not want to hang out with Bob.
And
I guarantee it. But they'll shame us for leaving him there by himself and all driving away.
I say going to Wendy's. I think we did go to Wendy's. I think we actually were going to Wendy's.
Oh. And he was there when we got back.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
remembering.
God. Yeah. He just stayed there.
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember now.
I think we actually at one. Okay, yeah. I'm remembering the rest of the story.
Shit, yeah.
Okay, so he came in.
Oh my God.
And then we left and we went to Wendy's.
Yeah.
And then we got food. I think we ate and we came back and he was still sitting there by himself.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, I think I was the leader of the group, and I actually had to be like, "Listen, dude, like, I'm sorry, but like, we just don't want to hang out with you." And maybe that's why I'm so empathetic, because like, you guys made me do a lot of stuff and I was like the spokesman of the group.
You were just our. Well, I was busy hitting on everybody else's girlfriends. So.
Yeah. I'm kicking weirdos out of the party while you're finger banging my high school girlfriends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I had an agenda. Okay.
Or as I like to call it, National Taco Day. If you remember my high school girlfriends.
God. So
it was smelly.
Oh God. So, with all of that said, people are so like flat earthers. People need to learn that there is a wrong answer for things. There are things that are wrong. I feel
like we need a disclaimer to say that you vote for Donald Trump.
There is a no. Like there's a point where there's just something that is a hard no. Like, gravity doesn't really... No, shut up. You're wrong. Like, it's the same thing. Oh, the earth isn't really... No, shut up. You're wrong. Like, oh, my penis is now a vagina. No, shut up. You're wrong. Like, there is an actual scientific yes and no answer to these things. And as much as you want to play like, oh, this is something else, as much as you want to reinvent the wheel and reinvent the penis, reinvent the earth, it's still round. It's still a penis, and you don't have ovaries, and you can't get pregnant, and so you're still a guy. And there's just an answer that you have to accept. It's no. You in your mind can accept whatever you want to in your mind, but to the outside world, the round outside world, it's still no. And that's what people have to understand. There's an actual yes and no to these things. And that's just the way it is. I can't fly without my fucking plane. And people who are crazy and think, oh, yes, I'll take LSD and I fly every day. And they're like, no, I really do. I go to outside experience. And I say, no, you're tripping your ass off on a drug. What you believe in your head, you can do whatever the fuck you want in your head. But the reality is you're laying on the ground looking like a flopped fish while you're tripping balls. And it's the same thing as anything else. So you're not telepathically communicating to your dead sister. You're not like seeing the edge of the world. You're not fucking your cousin who's
really going off on a high note here with this inappropriate guys thing.
He's gonna go full blown with everything.
Joe is hitting every single topic that he ever wanted to hit before we rebrand.
Like literally, like UFOs are not a real thing. It's the fucking government isn't after to kill you. Although they did kill what's his face,
Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, Epstein is killed by.
So this is going to be a surprise for Joe. But in part 2 of this episode, I'm going to replay his rant, and I'm going to get him to come out in favor of impeachment.
Because everything, I have a really good topic on impeachment.
Because everything he just said Like he would tell me that it was no quid pro quo. He'd tell me everything. But when I would respect more to be like, yes, there was a quid pro quo, but I don't care. I respect someone like
I wish we did.
I wish we did
politics.
I would respect it so much more if somebody just said, you know what? Yes, this is a fact. But I don't care. I'm going to live my life this way. And I think that what you're talking about right now, Joe, but it's a flip side of another coin. Like looking at something and then just willfully ignoring a fact because it keeps up with your ideology. Like the ideology, the ideology overwhelms.
Nature.
Yeah, but you just came out of a rant in 1,000 different ways. But if we did like an impeachment special, if we did an impeachment special, you'd tell me all these blatantly false.
I'm happy
facts.
about the impeachment. We can't talk about it, but I'm happy.
We don't do politics.
Yeah, but I'm happy.
As long as you acknowledge that he did what he's being impeached for, then I don't really care.
I'm not acknowledging anything.
So you don't acknowledge anything, yeah, but you want people to acknowledge that a penis is a penis.
I'm just saying that there's certain things that I can't talk about that I can't officially things cannot be discussed. That's all I can say. We have a rule. We can't break the rule.
I would just love if you
penises are on our where we have to go to commercial break.
Well, I tried to. You just ranted for man. You thought my incel ban was long.
Oh, the music I gotta lay over.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh my god, Joe, you need a break. You're bright red.
All right, we gotta go to break.
We're gonna have to go get Joe some water.
We'll be back.
Joe's gonna be in his corner with his trainer with a towel over his head.
We'll be
right
really
back. Took a left there, Rocky.
And we're back.
Joe's caught his breath.
Yeah.
So I was watching this way different topic, way less controversial than the last topic.
Okay.
Maybe we can be uncanceled. So there was a Walmart commercial.
Ooh.
And the man's with his son, and he's walking around the Walmart.
Wait, is it a man?
I didn't want to assume gender. A person of unknown gender and race is walking around with his other person who's smaller and of a younger age.
It's a blob,
and they're using the Walmart app, I guess, to like either find the products.
Oh no! It's just
and get the price. And they're running around, so they're going and they're like I don't know if they're scanning it with the app or they're like looking at the turkey on the app. They're like, oh, that's the turkey, and then they check out. And then they go home and they cook. And then they brought the turkey to the guy's wife who was in the hospital giving birth.
Wait.
And I was just like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Wait.
He was literally like, so the commercial was like this guy with his son is like happily.
Is this a Thanksgiving?
It was back at Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So he was happily. You might have want to
start with that.
He was happily walking around with his son being like, wow, look at this Walmart app. Like, oh, like the stuffing's on sale in aisle 4.
Yeah.
And then he goes home and cooks a turkey, which takes fucking forever.
Yeah, it's like a 4-hour
And the commercial
process.
ends with him going to the hospital, to the newborn ward, to feed his wife Thanksgiving dinner. And all I can think of is, who the fuck is this guy's wife that she's just like, oh yeah, no, I'll just push this baby out. Yeah. Go to Walmart. And then he's just casually browsing the app for a sale. He's casually browsing the app for a sale on stuffing while wait, he's the baby daddy? or do you
he's
think
not the baby daddy?
He's not the baby daddy. You think the daddy was actually?
No, daddy was already there.
The daddy was there. Then the daddy went home for shower, and then this guy came with the turkey.
This is round 2, man, coming in. This is the wannabe baby daddy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because like I mean,
because it's Walmart. Sponsor us.
Oh, is that? I don't think Walmart. They're owned by.
They're owned by. Is Costco and Walmart a warring thing? Or do they go after each other? I don't think so, right?
No, they're not the same
completely
thing.
different things. Yeah.
So it's the commercial. Wait, hold on. So it's Thanksgiving newborn, and the guy's literally walking around with his son, and they're using the app.
I just had a heart attack.
They're using the app, and he's literally like the turkey, and then he finds the turkey and says what aisle it is. He looks at his I'm so excited receipt and excitedly says wow because he lost so much money. And then he cooks the entire turkey that he bought at Walmart.
4 hours later.
Talks about it. And then he's surprised. And then the wife's literally holding the newborn baby. And she says, and then she mouths, I love you. And they're holding the newborn baby since Thanksgiving.
I love you. No, this guy is not the father.
You don't think he's the father?
This guy is the man on the side with his other little son and being like, yeah, we're
because I
banging
can't
on the side.
imagine like, and my wife is not in labor. But I can't imagine not only shopping, but
There's
taking the
two
time to enjoy a good price, a good sale. You know what? Like, sure, my wife is giving birth right now, but you know what?
Stuffing is $2 for $1.
It was 2 for 1 in stuffing.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe this turkey breast was. It was literally the worst commercial I ever saw. Even worse than the Peloton commercial.
Oh, there you go. I was waiting for you to come up with it because I have it on my list. We have a whole thing about that commercial, I'm sure. But
yeah, how fat was that lady at the beginning? I mean, what a fatso. Thank God she lost all that weight over the course of a year.
I want to get into it.
I can't believe that husband didn't leave her. Am I right? Who's with me?
Okay.
What? Am I canceled?
No,
Wait,
no.
what? Wait, why are they taking me? Listen, I live here.
Bye.
Why are you taking me out here? What?
No, so before we get into the what is that called? An elliptical
A Peloton.
Yeah.
So stationary bike.
Oh no, stationary. I keep thinking it's an elliptical.
Yeah, because you've never exercised, Joe. How, Joe? I don't know. A treadmill.
I got the correspondent for that. I'm the
dumbbell. You are a penis expert.
Yeah.
Sorry, as the resident exercise
if
expert.
you stick your dick in it, I know what it's about.
If you remove the bicycle seat,
yeah,
and then Joe would know about it. But with the seat, it's useless. It's like,
that's what that is.
What is that? Some kind of clothes hanging device? What is that?
Sabian. Oh, okay. I know what this is.
Sabian.
Same thing.
What kind of pervert are you?
A good one. I think it's one of two things. It's either she was so pregnant crazy that she was like, I need a fucking turkey. And then he was like,
didn't matter that he wasn't going to be there for the birth of his daughter.
Yeah, but she was in full blown like.
Well, no, he didn't go to Boston Market. He downloaded the Walmart app.
That's what my point is.
And then the Walmart app told him what aisle the turkey was in.
He said, "Okay, hun, I'll go. I'll get you a turkey." She's like, "No, I need a fresh turkey made." You know, with the pregnancy craziness.
Under those circumstances,
the pickle and ice cream crazy.
So under those circumstances, why would he happily walk through with his other son?
Because he's not dealing with the fucking crazy woman who's popping out the baby.
Like, wow, savings on my receipt.
Because he's savoring his last freedom moment.
Well, he already had one kid, though.
Who knows? That kid could be adopted.
Well, it still would be his.
Yeah, but
it's still under his roof.
But he didn't. It might have been like a newly adopted kid. You don't know this guy.
Well, then if the other kid if he's siring the other kid, he'd want to be there to make sure the kid comes out okay.
I don't know.
Childbirth can be touch and go, man. Shit happens.
Well, someone touched and go, but it's to the point where I think it's either she was batshit crazy, which is like, no, I need a fucking turkey now. You cook the best turkey. I want that, but before this kid comes out. Like, women
I
get
think
crazy.
it's the worst commercial in the entire world.
I think
even worse than the Peloton commercial.
I think that's the best commercial ever made.
Did you direct it?
I directed. I shot that fucking commercial. She was also fucking hot as hell.
The Peloton commercial.
Yeah, of course. Not the pregnant lady. Are you kidding me?
So the Peloton commercial. So here's my take on the Peloton commercial.
I'm going to give you
Are people still talking about the Peloton commercial?
I don't even give a fuck.
The problem was they switched the perspective. That it started off with him videotaping her and her closing her own eyes like a fucking moron, and then her videotaping herself and then her showing him the video. And they should have had her perspective the entire time of her documenting her fitness journey, and it would have perfectly fine.
Yeah.
That's why I think the problem was. It wasn't that he's like, first of all, there's no backstory. There's no backstory to the characters at all.
Yeah,
so I don't know how you can even say something that's offensive.
Yes, people are assuming all kinds of shit, and I'm like, dude, like, some people just loved fucking exercise, present company incled. Well, where, like, if you don't go
pointing
swimming,
to me. He's pointing to me.
Yeah,
he's not pointing to himself. Present company is not Joe.
Yeah.
Joe gets out of breath climbing the attic stairs.
You get out of breath going up your stairs. We live in we.
What?
You live in a 7-story building. Yeah, so like people I personally know, not just you, but people who are
others non-fat people too.
Yeah, I know girls who like cannot live if they didn't get their workout in the morning and very strict time.
Well, but then she was like, here we go. She was like nervous at the beginning.
She was nervous because
it was
one
of those
weird
people.
thing to do, and they were acknowledging that it's weird because it's fake and it's not an actual cycling class.
Well, no, it's a real class. It's live.
Well, yeah, but it's not like a.
It's not in person. It's not a SoulCycle.
Well,
so here's what I thought, because they show her with her daughter at the beginning.
Never again.
Even though she's objectively good looking, but but like she clearly had a kid within a few years, and I could see that like even though she was objectively sexy,
could be an adopted kid.
maybe she didn't feel so sexy. So like
exactly.
So like she just wanted she was good looking, but she wanted like her confidence back. She wanted her confidence back. She wanted because like she had this
maybe
baby.
Her vagina was giant.
Well, riding a bicycle is probably not going to help.
Well, there's
bicycles are very bad for your vagina.
Really?
Yeah.
You think they squish them?
And actually, it's really bad for your testicles too. Well, I know a guy who had testicular. Remember Lance Armstrong, testicular cancer.
You knew Lance. You started that sentence when I knew a guy, and then you went to Lance Armstrong.
There were two guys on The Amazing Race. It was a father-son. They were both professional cyclists. Both had testicular cancer. Okay. And then my friend's husband, before they were married, back when he was younger, he had testicular cancer.
Is he a eunuch?
He was a. He only. I don't know. He has one ball or he has no balls.
Oh no, he was a eunuch or a
gelding.
Yeah. I love how it all comes back to Shakespeare for us.
I think it's a gelding.
It's all Shakespeare.
Gelding is a horse term. When they
yeah, but they use that in Shakespeare.
Oh, I don't know. I just know from the horse racing.
Oh, I know everything Shakespeare.
So the Peloton commercial is
perfectly fine.
I think it's perfectly fine too. That's not very.
It's not. We'll explain it.
You can't give a backstory to characters that have no backstory. So it says more. It's like a microaggression. It says more about the person complaining than it does about the story. Because when it's a blank slate, it's literally a blank slate, and then
so much
you project. You're projecting onto something.
Maybe
it's pure projection.
Maybe she was like thin because she smoked a lot and she quit smoking and now she has to pick up something else to stay thin. Like,
or maybe
you don't
bulimia.
know. Yeah, or she was bulimic. Maybe she was cutting herself. Maybe there's so many fucking things that there could be that was negative that this is now a positive thing, but she has to make a change in her life. But it shows how fucked up and fat America is.
Well, speaking of fat, and remember, we used to be
discrimination against skinny people, and I won't stand for it.
We used to do
there a National Skinny Person Day. Can we make one?
We used to do fat news. That was basically my thing.
Speaking of news,
so they did a study.
Can I do a segue?
And 28% of Americans said they weighed 200 pounds or more between 2019 and for this decade. In this decade,
I was saying, where are you going with that?
Sorry, decade, 28. This decade's over, 2020. Yeah. So 28% of Americans said they weighed 200 pounds or more, a 4-point jump from the prior decade.
Or point or pound?
4 point. So I guess 24%. 24% of
the percentage wise. Okay.
24% of people said that they weigh more than 200 pounds in the early 2000 decade, like the aughts.
Yeah.
And then in the tens, 28% said they weigh 200 more, but fewer Americans consider themselves overweight or obese
because it's the same as the fake vagina. People want to create in their own minds that something's okay when it's not. That's all it is. People don't want to admit that they're wrong. We're going to go back to that music again. You're wrong. You're fat. Get on that fucking cycle. Lose the weight. Stop going to McDonald's. You don't need a go bag from McDonald's to survive.
Get the cookies.
Yeah, there is nothing. We're gonna make every reference to every show in order. Like, you don't have to live in a chicken coop and surviving on fatty fucking foods. Like, it's okay to realize you have a problem. As a former morbidly obese person, I could tell you it is okay to realize, maybe I should call myself
But what
fat.
about Lizzo, Joe? She's so confident.
Who the fuck is that?
You don't know Lizzo?
I'm a 34 and 9/8
almost 35-year-old man.
Yeah, like
99%, 0.99999.
Whatever the decimal point number.
Okay, if you're going to date women younger than you better know who fucking Lizzo is.
No, I don't care who Lizzo is. The girls that I date who are younger than me don't know who Lizzo is.
Everyone knows who Lizzo is.
I don't know who Lizzo is.
Lizzo is a giant woman.
You know who I know?
Who's a very talented singer.
I know,
but she's very confident, and she.
That's part of the problem. The fat, confident people are the same as the flat earthers.
I identified that problem when they did the Dove self-esteem ads in season 1.
Yes, season 1
they had the Dove self-esteem ads.
That's what started it all. If we nipped that in the butt back then,
we tried.
That was that a whole decade.
Yeah, that was that Dove self-esteem ads actually started it, where it's like, fat is beautiful, fat is okay.
I wonder if you could get a class action lawsuit against Dove for promoting obesity is okay.
I haven't been damaged. Yeah, I'm not skinny.
Oh no, I've been damaged like visually by the fat girls that I see on fucking online dating now.
I don't think you're going to be able to. I don't think you're going to be able to.
You don't think I can start that class action lawsuit? You don't think I have people have sued for less stupid? I mean, for like more stupid things. I think.
You know, I'm going to go back to one of my old topics. I think capitalism is to blame for fatness.
Oh boy, we're just linking. This is going to be the end all of end all. Go back
shows. to you know most
2012.
Most houses these days have two parents working, so you're less likely to have home cooked meals. You also have people who are like, you know, if you're the adults,
okay,
no, because you're not getting. It's
all the Mexicans' fault.
You're not getting healthy foods. You might not have family dinners. You're not getting home cooked meals. And then also, as far as like how crazy, like how delusional people are, is we have a lot of time. Like I
have a lot of time.
Remember like waiting to download a song on Napster? Like,
what did we do when we were downloading though?
You just waited for it to be downloaded.
I don't think we twiddled our thumbs though.
No,
we had video games.
No, you would. Things are happening so quickly, and we're so efficient, but we haven't replaced that with anything that fulfills us.
I have. I'm not the norm though.
Well, you're flying an airplane.
Yeah, I'm looking at a fucking
but
FAA book.
Most people don't. Like, you have information, like your webpage loads faster than ever. So
yeah,
like,
I'm angry when my webpage is loading past a second.
So like, people aren't reading that article and then moving on. They're taking that efficiency and they're going deeper into the rabbit hole. And I think the reason you're seeing these people who are so obviously not fulfilled in their lives and who have to make up these like, this is great, this is wonderful, is because like they have nothing. Like they don't have fulfillment. Like they have everything at their fingertips, but they have nothing that fulfills them. And I think that's a very, you know, like, and that, thank God for our podcast, because it gives us something to, you know, and you're a very creative guy, but still, like, it gives you something. You're creative, like you're working on something, you're thinking about something. It's social, it's interactive, you know, like it gives you something where like you're not just sitting there just consuming, whether it's food, whether it's information,
that's America in general. America's
and I think that's why,
like, machine.
And I think that's why you have these problems.
They're just consuming and consuming and consuming. That's the whole problem.
And if they weren't consuming, what would they be doing? And I think that's the issue.
Shitting.
If you like, you know, if you weren't consuming all the time, like, what are you doing? And I think that's the issue.
That's why the best years of progress
we want to
has been directly after a war. Because after a war, people put their minds.
You coming out in favor of a world war?
So North
this
Korea.
Has been Inappropriate, guys. Thank you for please keep us alive. We'll be up there with Lenny Bruce as far as First Amendment martyrs.
Yeah. No, I mean, hey, it's all fair in the game of freedom of speech.
No, but if all you're doing is like capitalism, like
are you being a socialist right now?
There was a 60-minute.
Do we need to get Bernie Sanders here waving his fucking fingers in the air?
It's responsible. Like, there should be a code of ethics.
There should be a responsibility.
That's pretty good.
Like,
that was a good one.
He's
that sounded like Larry David doing Bernie Sanders.
David,
that was very good though. No, but there should be. There was a 60-minute story about the Facebook engineer, and they designed it to make it as psychologically addicting as possible.
Of course, that's
like every single. Exactly. Yeah. That's Oreo cookies.
Yeah.
That's McDonald's French fries.
We did a test when I was a kid. This is a true story. My cousin and I.
True story alert.
True story alert. My cousin and I had a box of Fruit Loops when I was a kid. I loved eating cereal for lunch, because who doesn't like cereal for lunch?
Yeah.
And at the time, you know, there was the heavy hitters: Lucky Charms, Fruit Loops,
Honey Smacks.
Honey Smack. What the
little frog
first
on
of all,
it?
You don't fall into this category.
Corn Pops.
Oh God, yeah, no, you don't fall into the category of normal kids and breakfast meals.
I ate Corn Pops.
Yeah, but you didn't eat very highly sugary things.
I used to eat Pop-Tarts, and I used to butter it for some reason. I used to make a Pop-Tart.
Who the fuck butters a Pop-Tart?
I used to have strawberry Pop-Tarts.
Might taste good though.
It was strawberry Pop-Tarts, not frosted, and I toasted that. I melt butter on it.
That's okay. That sounds okay.
Yeah, let's not pretend I was healthy.
Yeah, but so. I had Fruit Loops, and we would eat it without milk. We would just pour it in a bowl or a cup,
Dry
actually.
Fruit Loops, okay.
And just eat it. We'd be working on music or something, and it was like a snack. You just keep eating it. And I at one point realized, I was like, oh my God, this is my third cup of Fruit Loops, and I still want more Fruit Loops. Mind you, I was thin for most of my life, so
Correct.
this wasn't like me being a fat little kid.
Correct.
Like I was rail thin, and I was like, oh my God, this is my third cup of Fruit Loops, and I want more. And my cousin looked at me and he was like, me too.
Oh,
and we
bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, and we sat there and we're like, is there something in the Fruit Loops that's making us want to continue eating?
Sugar.
And it was true. It like there's actually the high fructose corn syrup and the what's the other thing that combined with that it's an addiction, and that is in foods that they call it
It was like the bliss zone, maximum bliss, some kind of.
there's a thing that's it's a pleasure sensor in your brain, and then
they put
it's,
it. Yeah, they put as much salt and sugar in there, and if you had any less, it would be less efficient. But if you put any more, it would actually make you want it less. So every single piece of food
perfect amount
has the perfect
that.
amount of salt and or sugar and or fat,
and you just want
that
to keep
makes
eating.
you just have it. Yes,
yeah,
correct.
and you keep wanting to eat it, and so
So this is a byproduct of that consumption. That everything is meant to consume. So if your entire life has been consumption, and now you're over 200 pounds, you can't think of yourself obese because you have nothing. You don't have
a reference. Well, America in general doesn't really have a good reference point of obesity because
everybody's so fat.
Everybody's fat. Like, okay, so we're gonna have a good segue
but what if
here.
But what if you liked drinking?
You're an alcoholic.
Okay, but so like all you do is you drink.
Well, and a lot of
now they're like,
alcoholics.
you're going to have to stop drinking. And you're literally like, well, what am I going to do with my time?
Eat.
But like, but for that's the same thing with food. That's the same thing with the internet. That's the same thing with pornography. The same thing with video games. Like exercise. There's people who exercise who work out 6 hours a day.
Yeah,
and it's like you have an addiction. It's not healthy.
And they just keep
like,
going.
well, if I'm not running, what am I doing? Like, and I think that's the problem. That we're not fulfilled we're not fulfilled. We're just doing. We're consuming. And we're not creating. We're not fulfilling. We're not hugging our family. Go home and hug your mother, Joe.
I know a girl who is heavily into fitness to the dangerous end of the spectrum. And I watched her like physically change over the course of a couple of years. And I watched her get in shape, but then past in shape to being
like scary looking.
Like there was a body fat percentage that's lean and healthy, and then there's the body fat percentage that's like, oh my God, what happened?
What percentage is that?
0.
Oh.
She
I'm
like
at 5.8.
Yeah. She was literally like, there is no muscle you can't see on her body, but also in like
that weird like shoulder way. It's the shoulders that give it away because it's like all ligamenty.
It's like
all collarbone.
I wish I could pull up a photo of her now to show you.
It's radio. It's fine.
Your reaction, but
it's fine. It's radio.
Yeah, it's just like it got to the point where I was like, oh my God, she actually has a problem, and I started to notice that she was getting skinnier in the face.
Skinny shaming.
And she used to
Joe,
used to be hot.
You're canceled, Joe.
She used to be really hot, and then she gone off the rails. And then I was like, oh my God, this girl used to be fucking hot. And now she's like, oh, and I like skinny girls and I like girls who are super fit, but it was to the extreme because she didn't have anything else at all. And all she did was run, and all she did was work out, and all she did is post on Instagram her working out.
Yeah, see?
And that was it. Yeah. And it was crazy.
we could have that discussion and no one would pick at us. But if you had that conversation about a fat person, yeah,
how dare you? That I'm fat.
It's very interesting. It's like everybody. It's never someone's own fault. You know, it's not. It's never, and it's never. You know, but again, society sets you up for that. I mean, it's society sets you. The cheapest food in the supermarket is the least healthiest.
Yeah.
You know, like Honeycrisp apples. There's nothing better than Honeycrisp apple. It's like $2 an apple. It's ridiculous, but you can get like a giant bag of like Edmonds cookies for like $2.25. It's like
I have to interrupt our rant here. I have a very funny announcement that just came across my Apple Watch.
Oh.
I got a warning that says loud environment. Sound levels hit 90 decibels. Around 30 minutes at this level can cause temporary hearing loss. We are loud enough to cause temporary hearing loss.
Okay, I guess we have to shut it down then. Good thing we've canceled ourselves.
Oh my God, that's how loud we are. 90 decibels. That's fucking loud. Like 80 decibels is yelling.
I feel bad for my wife.
Yeah, well, she's gonna be screaming any moment now anyway, popping that kid out.
Oh, I'll be.
Trust me, it'll be louder than 90 decibels with a baby screaming.
Oh boy,
they're 100 and something decibels.
I'll just listen to the podcast.
Yeah. You need to get to.
You're doing great, baby. You're doing great. Yeah. It's Joe's. It's Joe's everything rant.
Yeah.
The rant to end all rants.
Do you have noise canceling headphones?
No.
Oh, you should.
Oh, for
Bose.
for labor.
Yeah, Bose. But yeah, so do we want to do our third parter? This is our last episode before it's the special.
Before the season finale. Season finale?
Yeah, so the series finale, everything finale.
I think we've hit it.
I've got stuff.
Okay, if you got stuff, let's take a break.
We're coming back.
We'll come back for part 3.
I'm thirsty anyway.
All right, who's back?
We're back for the second time.
Wow.
For the first time.
Unprecedented.
Yep. This is an unprecedented... God damn it. You've rubbed off on me. We've never done this before season 2.
This is going to be one of those episodes I listen back to, and I'm going to be really...
Like, God damn it, we should have stopped it.
No, I'm going to be really mad at like all the thoughts I didn't finish. Like when you were doing those rants and something, I know, like, it's like... If we had call-ins or something, like you'd have that person who'd come in and they'd call and they'd like,
you'd think,
like, oh, you know what, like that. Yes, that is exactly what I was trying to say, listener. Thank you for finishing my thought. And furthermore, yeah, I think this is because we've had just so many. We've had so many topics on this episode today.
That's okay. We are the ADD podcast.
No, we're Be Offended.
Oh, God damn it.
We're Be Offended.
Can we switch? We haven't made the. Oh no, we did. We have the. Damn it.
Be Offended with Joe and Tim.
Be Offended. Well, not yet. There's one more.
We will be the Inappropriate guys for a season finale coming soon. We're going to have some special guests. We should try and get Grace on that maybe too.
Yeah, we should try to get everybody on.
Oh man.
Yeah. It should just be
we need
like
a bigger attic.
Yeah, maybe we should do it. No, downstairs is too echoey. All right. Well, we'll figure something.
Maybe we get them in shifts.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe first half, second half.
Okay.
Yeah, let them drink downstairs and yeah, that's exactly how to do it.
Sponsored by Down East Cider.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Next season you can actually try to do that. Next season. Okay, so is it going to be next season or is it going to be the first season? I was thinking about this. It's like it's getting really funny, but also really messy to describe because it's 14 years, 2 seasons, and now the rebrand is going to be. Is it a new season? Is
season
it a new
3?
Is season 3?
It's season
different
3.
Title.
Yeah.
14.
Same idiots. Yeah. No, season 3.
It's just gonna keep going.
Season 3 was Be Offended with Joe and Tim. But when you listen back to the old season, it's the Inappropriate guys for some reason. Yeah. Well, do you remember Saved by the Bell?
Yeah.
So Saved by the Bell with Tiffany Amber Thiessen and AC Slater Screech.
Yeah.
So apparently that was a
2 of those names were
that was
names.
a spin-off of Good Morning Miss Bliss.
What?
So the original, what they call like the original Saved by the Bell without Kelly Kapowski was actually a show called So there's like Saved by the Bell, and I forget how they branded the show, but it was with like the teacher was Miss Bliss. It still had Mr. Belding.
So it was one of the first spin-offs.
And then they rebranded the first season and called it Saved by the Bell, but it was a different show. So it was Good Morning Miss Bliss with Zach Morris, Screech, Lisa, and none of the other kids. And then they then said, okay, well, we like Zach, we like Mr. Belding, we like Screech, we like Lisa, we don't like Miss Bliss, and we don't like the other 3 weirdos. So we're gonna have Saved by the Bell, and we're gonna have Tiffany Amber Thiessen and the guy who played Mario Lopez, the girl from Showgirls. And so then they went back. So when they played those old episodes, they just called it Saved by the Bell, but it wasn't Saved by the Bell. So that's what we're doing. I
love that she's forever the girl from Showgirls. She's not remembered as anything but the girl from Showgirls.
What's her name? Elizabeth Berkley.
You can look at because anybody knows that. It just rolls off the tongue. So
yeah. So Good Morning Miss Bliss, also known as Saved by the Bell, the junior high years.
Wow.
So they had it as a Disney Channel show. And then
it was
a Disney Channel show, Good Morning Miss Bliss. And then later they had it as part of the Saved by the Bell rerun package. So they made Saved by the Bell, and they said, okay, let's take these Good Morning Miss Bliss shows and we'll repackage it as Saved by the Bell, the junior high years, and we'll pretend like it was always Saved by the Bell, but it wasn't. It was a different show, but they kept the same people. Yeah, it's us.
Yeah, different show, same people.
So there is
precedence?
There is precedence for calling us Be Offended. And just pretending like we would be offended the entire time, even though we used to be the Inappropriate guys.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm glad we had part 3 of this, so we could really just
everything.
We could storyboard this. Yeah.
This is brilliant.
So my next Excel spreadsheet. Now you turn to the next slide of my PowerPoint presentation.
And now we will discuss the assassination of President Kennedy and the distance between Tower 1 and the car. Okay, so I hear something coming.
Free train, the future, progress, socialism, my son.
No, it could be your son. No, it's
the FBI. Herpes.
I give up. We should have just ended it.
Coronary.
No. Okay.
Early death.
It's the Australian Minute.
Oh my God, the Australian Minute.
The Australian Minute. There we go.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Not to be confused with all the other minutes we've had.
Yeah. Oh my God. So, all you lovely Australians out there who aren't listening to us,
our international
international news. I've got a news story.
How do they spell inappropriate in Australia?
I have no idea. It's probably with some weird E and U somewhere for no reason.
Like how England they spell things. Yeah,
everything's
weirder.
Got a U in it and an E. That's what I'm saying. It's a weird. Well, they were occupied for a long time, so, you know. In Queensland,
and that's the end of Australia.
Yeah, that's it.
They were originally a penal colony.
I love how this third part is literally just facts about things. We haven't done anything funny yet, really. It's just stating facts.
Well, sometimes people get interested.
Yeah. Well, the rant was interesting either way. We were talking about how capitalism, and you're apparently against it because
it makes us all fat and
Bernie
depressed.
Sanders lover.
It makes us fat and depressed and question our genders.
Where is the gender? Okay, I'm not even going to ask. So in Queensland, a legal secretary has been granted bail after being caught with drugs worth up to $1.5 million. The interesting thing is she was a very elderly woman.
Oh, no way.
So
did she know she was having them, or was she like confused?
So the police found 60 kilograms of cannabis inside suitcases in the hotel room where she was.
These are from my grandson.
and a quantity.
He's a pizza chef.
1 kilogram of meth.
Oh, wow.
And a quantity of cocaine. I love how they don't know how much weight the cocaine was, but the quantity of cocaine in the amount of $100,000 in cash.
Wow.
Yeah. So... oh wait, there's more. They also keep
guns. Guns. I hope they're guns.
Police also allege. I love how there's a separate paragraph with this. It's like the list of ingredients.
What's this granny here?
Yeah,
what a badass.
Yeah, police also allegedly found 4 kilograms of MDMA.
Wow, the party granny.
30 boxes of diazepam. And 2 handguns, 1 loaded.
Yes, there we go. There we go. Granny's packing heat.
Granny is fucking seen one too many episodes.
Was she keeping them in those little days of the week pill containers?
Oh
like
my
the little
God.
and the little Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, the Monday had like the meth in it.
This is my
Tuesday
MD.
Had
you can do the old lady voice. Oh my God.
Oh, that's my alarm again. It's time to do my pound of hash.
my kilogram of
time to
meth.
do another kilogram.
Oh my God. Yes. Just imagine the police.
Were they like the little Derringer pistols, or are they like a big scar? Do they have a picture? I think they do like a picture of the.
I know. Usually they have the
bus,
table.
And they
of
put the table with all the drugs out.
I was actually just looking for it. There's nothing on.
I don't know. What would be funnier, Derringer or like a big Colt 45?
It's like a fucking Desert Eagle.
Yeah,
a giant fucking gun.
With like her initials like engraved on the side of it or something. Yeah, like she's
It's like a 12-pound handgun. Yeah.
I was watching a 60 Minutes special about El Salvador. I didn't realize I should be afraid of Australia.
Yeah.
These gun-toting...
So, and apparently...
Who tipped them off?
So
that's what I want to know. Who's checking Granny's...
yeah.
What was it, leaking cocaine?
So hold on. So it goes like this. They were part of a syndicate trafficking. Oh my God, this gets deep. This is like Bond worthy. Like
maybe this could be your next treatment.
Yeah, this is insane in Brisbane market.
You know, sometimes they have movies that are based on true stories, and we could
old lady, man.
You could do a movie about that.
You know what I love the most? The ad on this article is literally, I almost need to just send this over to you, but it's a woman, it's an old woman in one of those like little scooters,
little jazzies,
and it says the Independence Resource for Senior Citizens.
Oh, wow.
The ad.
I don't know. You can either get a jazzy and get a suitcase full of drugs and guns, I guess. I mean, she seems pretty.
Yeah. Well,
so she was part of a syndicate, or was she a mule, or was she? So
it's a little weird because it's one of those articles that kind of jumps back and forth between everything. But the title is "Old Woman Allegedly Hid $1.5 million in Drugs." So apparently, I guess she was. I hope she wasn't the mule. The police also. Oh my God! This just keeps going. Ross was ordered to adhere to strict bail conditions, wearing a tracking device. Where is she gonna run to?
Slowly, yeah. She's getting away very slowly.
That dot move an inch an hour.
Yeah, just walking through the mall at 8 a.m. Just doing laps around the food court with Oliver. Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow. Okay, so.
Oh my God, Granny's on the move. Is she escaping? Well, either that or she just got bingo. I think she's going up to claim her prize at bingo.
Yeah, it doesn't say much more, but it's literally just announcing what had happened. But overall, the wholesale value of everything was $2.3 million in illegal substances and goods. So yeah,
start checking the grannies.
Australia is a fucking fun place to go to.
Badass grannies.
Yeah, badass grannies.
Do you think she was a criminal her whole life, or like she was bored, or like how? Because like as a male, like I
love this ad.
You're most likely to be like they say like at like 23 or 24. Like if you've never gone to prison, like you probably never will.
Yeah,
but like in your 60s,
could you just imagine just like the thought process? Like, I'm already old. What the fuck are they going to do to me?
I was confused.
Yeah, I didn't know anything.
Imagine it's not her luggage. Maybe she didn't know anything. Maybe she is confused. And she took out the wrong luggage or something.
She has what's it called?
Amnesia? Not amnesia. Dementia.
Yeah, she's dementia.
But we have it too, apparently.
She's dementia. And she's just picking up other people's luggage. It's like it's hers.
She's just rolling it away. Yeah.
This is the great script.
She's also found with a she had a luggage full of like deli meats or something, like just for no reason.
Just hard candies.
Yeah.
Just the hard candies that nobody likes to eat except for old people.
She has no idea what she's doing.
It was just my hard candy.
Yeah, I took my pills this morning. I was like, wow,
just tripping on MDMA.
I thought it was my Lipitor, and all of a sudden I'm listening to Diplo.
She's fucking strolling down the street high as a fucking kite. Yes.
Obviously, would you believe I have glaucoma?
1 pound of weed.
A kilo of cocaine in my day, they put it in Coca-Cola. Yeah. That's what the Coca was for.
Well, Australia, you guys know how to party hard.
Wow, apparently.
Between your koalas and your...
I think that's offensive.
Yeah,
I don't know if you could say koalas.
Call anybody koala. It was a callback to the pole dancing koalas.
Yeah, no, that's offensive. That's a stereotype show.
Who would be a koala?
You're really just trying to get us canceled. Imagine it wasn't our tranny. Sorry, that wasn't. That was not appropriate.
Floridian slip.
It wasn't our transgender discussion that got canceled, but it was your use of the term koala.
Because that's apparently the
you
most
don't know
what's
okay.
You don't know what's offensive until it's offensive 20 years later.
Before we do an Australian minute, we need to find out everything that's offensive in Australia.
Nothing is, because it's Australia.
Well, apparently, I mean, the grannies all have guns and drugs, so
all
I guess
good to go.
we are good to go.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything. I think the only country that is offended is America, and that's why we're going to be called Be Offended. I think that's why.
Be Offended with Joe and Tim.
Yep, that's who we are.
And
remember it.
Should we have some kind of prize for
the first... What?
The first time we called ourselves the Inappropriate Guys during the new show.
Oh, no, we have to penalize somebody.
I was thinking like we just give a listener a prize or something.
Oh, I was thinking of like shocking each other.
Like you email us, and every time you hear us call us our show by the wrong name, and we'll give you like a sticker or something. Or
a sticker. That would require too much effort for too little payout. I don't think that would happen. They get the privilege of listening to Be Offended.
The privilege.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, have we done it?
No, we haven't.
Oh my God, there's more. Oh my God.
No. Don't take off your headphones.
I need an IV.
Well, Granny had one.
I'm not in shape for this much podcasting.
Granny had one. I guess the last thing that I wanted to touch on. Oh, I have to check off some stuff. This episode was so long, I forgot to check things off. There's a few things I wanted to touch on, but it was a story. About my desert jacuzzi experience.
What?
We were talking about
what?
Yeah, there was an episode we did talking about boiling a baby by accident.
Yeah, by accident.
Yeah, never on purpose, of course not. And we were talking about jacuzzi heat, and I was like, "Oh yeah," because I went into a jacuzzi in the desert.
You thought jacuzzis were held at 150? I believe you thought
like 150 degrees. In my defense, it probably was because I was in a jacuzzi in the desert. I was in Palm Springs desert.
Wait, so it was a hot spring?
No, it was an actual just jacuzzi. It was at a resort in
I'm
Palm
almost
Springs.
positive they don't keep it 150.
I know
it would
don't.
like take your skin off.
Yeah, it would probably. I'd be a skeleton. And the meat would be off the bones.
Yeah, you'd be like a lobster.
Yeah,
but like literally like boiling to death slowly.
Yeah, but I mean, I kind of was, and that's the point of the story. So I was a young lad.
There have been girls in this hot tub.
Oh, there was. So I was a young lad.
But where were their bathing suits?
on the top.
On this pool deck?
So let me get to the story.
Ooh.
So I don't remember. This was at the age where I was taking all of my friends except for you to Florida. And right around that
you were in California.
Yes, I'm saying that was the age when I was doing all of these
this is
travels.
an excuse to brag about having sex
this
as
is
a
nothing
teenager.
no, not at all. So I we went to California as a family trip, and one of the off branches of this trip was going to Palm Springs. And so we stayed at this desert resort. I forget what age I was in, but it was probably like 15-ish, 16, somewhere around there. And the first day we arrived at this like hotel room, I noticed a girl like walking up the stairs, like a couple of hotel rooms down. And she was, not exaggerating, probably one of the hottest girls I had ever seen. Like, period. She was like just holy crap perfect. And I was like, oh my God, that is my goal for the entire time I'm here. Is to talk
Who
to
you
that
with this trip?
my mother and stepfather.
Oh.
Yeah. But it was separate.
Wingman.
Yeah. It was like I had my own room. I could go and leave as I please. And like I never had any rules.
What a good life you had.
I did. So that was me.
Who was she with? Her family?
She was with her mother.
Oh.
So I think at this point, I was
just a bragging.
I think I was 16,
withhold
16 or 17. Now that I'm thinking about it. So anyway, that's my goal. I've got my sights on her, and that's it. And we like left to go get lunch or something, and then came back, and I saw her like around the pool at one point in time.
Ooh, what was
and
she wearing?
Like, fucking tiny bikini, which was amazing.
Ooh.
And I was like, okay, this is it. I have to like make my move. I got to talk to this girl.
Were there other guys around, or were you like the only choice?
No, that's the beauty of this thing. The beauty of this thing is that we happened to go when this resort was like almost empty. I swear to God, there was maybe like 2 or 3 other families in this entire resort.
There's nothing better than the growing up vacation girlfriend.
Oh my God.
When you were like literally like the only 2 people in the entire place.
And that's it.
I think I had a vacation girlfriend in like Colorado or Maine or something where it's like
exist.
We had like, it was like you were like a 5-day
thing.
vacation,
Yeah.
and it was like literally like I was like 14 and she was like 13, and like the only other person there was like my sister and like her brother. So I was like, oh, I guess we're boyfriend and girlfriend for the next 4 days.
Yeah. So
that was great. You get a little like a tingle in your, you get a little nervous tingle. It's great.
And so
I'm sure this is not gonna be as wholesome a story as what I told.
Not at all. So
it's gonna end with like a abortion in a hot tub or something.
His blood and committing a murder. As a young strapping lad, as I was, I was. I had sex with a lot of girls back then.
This is a bragging show. I knew it.
It totally is. Fuck you. I get to brag on our last episode. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make my move. I got to talk to this girl. We're only here for like a week or something. It was like 5 days maybe. And so I threw on my, 1999, whatever
cargo shorts.
Cargo shorts, exactly.
Nice.
And I was like, all right, I'm going to go down there. And
your best Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, exactly. And I went down there and like I was such a fucking chicken the second like I was able to like actually talk to her. I didn't say anything, and she's like doing laps, and I'm like, fuck, like what are you do? Like did she
was staring at her creepily from like the bushes or something?
She literally does like that I forget the name of the movie, but that hot moment with the girl
Phoebe Cates in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah, so she literally does the Ridgemont High like getting out of the pool thing.
Out of the pool right in front of you.
And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like I'm fucking dying. I still remember that it's a pink fucking
You're getting hard
bikini.
right now?
Yeah, I gotta hide it. And so I was like, oh my God, I gotta talk to this girl. And then her mother showed up. And she started talking to her mother. And I was like, oh, well, I lost my chance. There's no way I'm going to talk to her now.
There's the porn music playing under this right now when the mom showed up.
So I'm like, oh, fuck.
And then the mom leaves. But then the mailman shows up.
and then the Home Depot shows up.
Oh, this is before apps.
Yeah, this is before everything. This is before the internet.
It was much harder to find someone to fuck your wife before the Home Depot app.
Yeah. Well, depends on the state. So I was like, okay, I missed my shot today. I hope she's here tomorrow. So then tomorrow comes, boom, she's there. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And she didn't go swimming that day. I saw her walking around at some point in time, but she didn't go.
She probably was seeing if you were sitting there creeping. She's like, I was that creepy
There's
guy at the
there.
pool.
Yeah.
I don't want to take off I don't want to put my bathing suit around creepo over here.
Yeah, no, that's the other thing. She always had like just her bikini top on and one of those like little see-through like
sarongs or whatever, like the little wraps.
Yeah, just a little wrap around, and which was totally like useless. What's that gonna do? Like that doesn't do anything. Anyway, so
that offends you.
So yeah, it's offensive that you're even trying that. How dare you try to cover your face? I mean your legs.
The face. The vagina's not the face, Joe.
That's all I see. That's all I see is lips. So the third day where I'm like, all right, that's it. You got to fucking have some balls. I don't have a wingman. I don't have anything. I just got to do this. I see her in the hot tub. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go into the hot tub. And so I go into the swimming pool for a little bit.
Is this during the day or at night?
This is during the day.
Okay.
It's the later part of the day. It's slightly starting to cool off in the desert, but it's probably like, 6:37-ish. The sun's low. And so she's doing this thing where she's going from the pool to the hot tub and back and forth again. She's like, whatever that's called, that's what she's doing. And so I go into the swimming pool. And again, it's literally just us out there, which is like, okay, you have to. Like, if you're the only person by default, you're okay to talk.
It's so weird.
Because you're literally the only person there. It'd be weird not to talk.
You have to talk to them.
Yeah, exactly. So then I'm just in the jacuzzi and she's there and she starts talking to me of all things. And I was like, yes. I was like, I didn't have to make the move. Like, she starts talking.
The only two people there. Would it be more awkward for you to just ignore each other?
Yeah, I should have just ignored her and been like, nah, I'm too good for this girl. So then we start.
I have a girlfriend.
Yeah, we start talking like small talk. And then her mom shows up. And I'm like, oh, fuck, you know? But then her mom like takes off like her like shirt.
There we go. Hit the music again.
Her mom is fucking hot. I mean, at the time, she must have been like one of those really young, like, you know, like 13-year-old pregnancy things.
Okay.
Because her mom was not that much older. You know, it was like, oh my God, she's fucking smoking hot. And her mom starts talking. And her mom starts talking to me a lot. And now I'm talking to like both of them, and it's literally me, her, and her mom. And
now you decide which one you want more.
And I'm literally like, what do I do?
What's your boner doing at this point?
I don't know what it was doing.
And this is a 150-degree hot tub?
So it gets better.
So your skin is starting to peel off at this point?
So they're doing this thing where they're going back and forth in the pool and out of the pool. So I don't do well with heat in general. And the shock value from going from a cold pool.
I hope this ends with you passing out. Oh, nothing would make me happier if you pass out.
So her mom then goes away for a second and comes back and asks, do we want a drink? Asks us, her daughter and this strange boy. And she gets me a margarita. This is the first time. This is the first time I've actually like drank a margarita before. She comes back with this margarita because there's like a little bar thing on the other side. And I start drinking this margarita like a fucking idiot because I'm just not understanding what I'm doing at the moment. So now I'm drinking alcohol, sitting in a hot tub in a desert, and like going between really cold.
So was the mother trying to have sex with you?
I have no idea. But by this time, they're doing this thing where we're going back and forth, pool, hot tub, and talking. And I'm starting to get tunnel vision. And I like literal peripheral is starting to like close off. And I'm thinking, oh, this is weird. Am I drugged? What's going on?
Is all the blood
here?
going to your penis?
Apparently. So I'm talking and I'm starting to get like inebriated and I notice it. But we're also just like in this hot tub and I'm feeling flush. I'm feeling not well. And I'm sitting across from these two hot fucking girls, and I'm literally like on the verge of passing out in this hot tub, and I don't know what to do, and I don't know how to tell them I have to leave, and I'm just like, oh my God, how do I get myself out of this? And so we were talking, and it was just like, I need to go somewhere. Like I made up something. I don't know what it was.
Let's go masturbate.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I gotta go jerk off. Bye. And I was just like, I was losing my vision. And I was like, at the moment where I needed to get out of the pool, or something bad's gonna happen.
The pool or the hot tub?
The hot tub, I meant.
The 150-degree hot tub.
Yeah, which was definitely that hot. And I literally had to just get up and leave. And I made it to the staircase. And as I got to the staircase, I was holding on to the banister. And that's all I remembered was the banister. And then I like woke up like
without a kidney.
Sideways. Without a kidney. Yeah, I woke up like sideways off the banister. And I'm like, oh my God, I just fucking passed out. Nobody saw it. I was so thankful. And I went back to the hotel room. And I couldn't like move the next day. But then I saw her mother the following day, and she invited me to go out with her for drinks. And I'm like, what the fuck do I do? Because she didn't say anything about her daughter coming. She invited me. So I go.
Of course you do.
And I'm like, and now I'm like, all right, I got to be careful because if there's any jacuzzi involved in this, I'm gonna fucking die.
And your parents at any point here don't know.
No, don't know.
You're just
shit.
some old lady is drinking and drugging.
Not
you.
Old though. She's very young. She must have been like 20.
Old compared to you.
Yeah. But smoking hot nonetheless. And eventually her daughter did show up. So now literally I am out drinking.
And who's this
woman.
bartender just feeding?
Well, her mother's getting it, and this is in the desert. Everybody's drinking. Nobody cares. It's a resort. And it was just insane.
It was the 90s.
Yeah, it was the 90s. Blow chicks,
Grandma was there with her rifle.
Was there with her
MDMA.
kilo of MDMA. So there's no real ending of the story that's spectacular. It's just that I never actually made my move on either of them. And it was like a regret for a very long time.
Is this a confession right now you're having?
No, it was just a...
You hoping she's listening?
Yeah, if you're that girl...
or the mother.
Yeah, or the mother. At this point, I'll take either of you. Email us at angryhatemail@gmail.com.
If you were trying to steal Joe's kidney.
Yeah. You think that maybe it was actually a murder plot?
Were they foreign?
Yes. I remember an accent. I don't remember what the accent
maybe
was.
Okay,
I think
one
it was
of
a
two
British
things.
accent.
Either they were trying to traffic you, or they were foreign. They thought you had money since you were Palm Springs. Maybe they thought you would marry them,
ransom or marry or get them green card,
green card marriage, something. Yeah, could have been.
I would have been game for that though.
I would be totally such a pussy. You should have made your move.
Yeah, I have a lot of stories of me being a pussy and not making my move.
So that's your whole story.
Yeah, that was it.
That's it.
Yeah,
it ends with you guys getting drinks.
It ends with us getting drunk but never ever making a move.
Never making a move.
And it was like one of the hottest girls I'd ever seen in my life.
He did nothing.
And I did nothing. And I probably had a chance because she wasn't giving me like no feelings. It was just, I was always around her mom and I was like trying to choose in my mind, what do you do? Like, do you say, by the way, I want to go out with your daughter? Like, what do you do? How do you get out of that? How do you start that? You're going to have to deal with this with your son.
Well, no, you get the...
What would you tell your son?
The mother should be drinking more than the both of you. So the mother should be going back early. And then now you get along with the daughter, or you got your own device. You have your own room. You had opportunities there. In hindsight, you had opportunities that you blew. Yeah, you blew it.
That could have been it. That could have been the one.
Yeah, great. At 16, yeah, that's exactly what you need.
There's some people. Who do we know? Don't we know somebody who is married at a very young age? We know somebody.
No, we know some people who've been together since high school.
Yeah, that's what I mean though. Like they've been.
Yeah, we know some people who married their high school sweethearts.
Yeah. So
poor guys.
Oh God.
Imagine that.
You know what?
You know how many?
I'm trying to think of, is there anybody in high school that I actually would have been happy marrying? And I don't think so.
Well, you might have been happy marrying them 15 years later.
Yeah,
but you wouldn't have wanted to be like, all that experience that you had.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, no, you would have.
That my sexcapades would have been
exactly.
ended.
That's saying all that would have. Yeah,
my threesome.
They didn't even invent the like.
Oh no, there's
making selfie, making sex tapes, and you invented. I
invented the dick.
You invented the dick pic.
I absolutely invented.
But like
the dick
doing
pic.
like sexting and all that, and like making our sex tapes, like that wasn't a thing. So imagine like now it's like 2010, right? And now, like, okay, cool, we're going to do sexting as a thing. But you've been with your chick for like 10 years already.
Long, yeah.
So now you're getting just like pictures of like familiar boobs instead of like brand new, exciting like Tinder
different
boobs. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got, yeah. So now it's like, sexting the thing. I'm going to send you a picture of my pussy. It's like, that pussy that I've been in for like 1,000 million times.
I wonder what that's like to have gone through sexting but never have.
I don't think they ever went through it.
Yeah, and like never had the opportunity to sext anybody else. Like at that point, I guess you do still sext your significant other, but it's not the same.
It's like an ironic way. It's like a role-playing way. Like, oh, look, we're young. Here's a picture of my boob. Where actually you're like, oh my God, like
I'm
the
literally
boob is coming.
Yeah, I'm literally seeing this boob like
for the
20
first
minutes.
time. Yeah, and like you're frothing at the mouth. It's like, oh, she's going to send, and then she sends you the bra. And you're like, oh my God, is she going to take the bra off? Is she going to take the pants off? Is she going to take the panties off? And you're just like, you're like losing your mind.
And it's a dick.
Hey, on that note.
On that note.
Okay.
We just made it to the end.
3-parter.
Yeah. That was. I think that was worth it. I knew the story was stupid enough.
We will be back for a season finale.
Season
2 finale. We're gonna have some special guests. We're gonna have some tricks up our sleeves.
Oh, there's always tricks up some sleeves.
And then eventually we will return for season 3.
Yep, coming to a billboard in New Jersey somewhere.
Rebranded as "Be Offended" with Joe and Tim. So for now, we are. Always have been and always will be
the Inappropriate
guys.
All right, see you later.